Welcome to our new series, the 200 Movie Challenge. Our goal this year is to watch 200 movies that we haven't seen yet. If you want to listen to the full podcast where this clip is from, the link will be in the description. Now enjoy today's movie. But Soto, let me tell you about my first movie. So last Saturday, as we kind of discussed in a couple of our podcasts, it was Jill's and our anniversary, 11 years. And
Yes.
so
Very
we
nice.
we didn't go out to eat. We got some food, took it home, or I picked up some food. I'm like, let's just stay home. And there's been a
Love that.
movie that's been on my radar ever since we talked about doing this. And I think this was on Peacock, and so I knew this is something originally that Jill might want to see, and they had a sequel come out. So I'm like, hey, do you want to watch this? And she's like, yeah. Now Soto, and a lot we've joked about ChatGPT. We've joked about AI and how all this
Yes.
shit is taken over. So, with
I've seen
that,
Companion.
I saw the 2022 film Megan. So, we're
Yes.
talking about AI. Uh,
Scene.
the
Yeah.
concept really, spoke to me. I'm like, all right, this is something very interesting. A little bit horror, a little bit action. I know it's defined as like a horror comedy, but I would say a little bit more sci-fi horror. I wouldn't say this is a horror film compared to what we've seen. And for those who don't know, um,
Sci-fi horror. I like that.
sci-fi. Well, it is kind of sci-fi. This was
Mhm.
produced and the story was by James Wan, who, if you don't know, was the director of the first
Oh,
Saw movie.
I
Also
do.
created the Conjuring universe. So yeah,
Huge.
huge guy. Yeah. So he did the story to this. He produced this. He did not direct it. But obviously he has his hands on this. So yeah, this story starts off. The young girl in this, not the robot, but the actual young girl, Katie, Cady. Uh, Basically, she's backseat with her parents. She has like this stuffed animal. Her aunt gave her birthday. It's like the new kind of high tech thing because you can talk to it. It will give you pretty much generic but responses but based on what you're saying, but you can also play on your phone with it, and if you feed it and if you're doing things on your phone it will react. So she's playing with the high-tech toy. So basically her aunt is a very high-tech person, but on this car ride, they're going up to a ski resort and the snow starts coming, and unfortunately they get sideswiped by a snowplow. Both the parents
Oh
die,
God.
and young Katie's the only one
Oh
that
Jesus.
survived. So little Katie goes to live with her aunt, who works at this high tech company. Now her aunt's the typical I'm not ready for this. I didn't really want kids kind of person. She's into her
Mm-hmm.
work. But obviously she loves her sister, even though they haven't really spoken much in the last, 5, 10 years. But she takes Katie in. She wants to do her best to obviously give her the life, try and give her a life and take care of her. So, that's that story aspect to it. So she's trying to get back to work. She invites Katie to come, and yeah, her boss is on her because these toys that these little stuffed animal toys that they've been producing cost a lot of money, and now the competition is doing kind of the same toy at half the price. So that's what and they're
Oh,
trying to
love
figure
doing
out a
that.
way. So she's doing this. She's also secretly, she's built, in college she's built like actual robots. Nothing like on the extent of Megan, but things that can kind of interact with you. But her and her team have been working on basically the ultimate toy, Megan. Megan stands for, now the weird thing is it's Megan, but it's like the movie's called like M3GAN because it's called Model 3 Generative Android. So
Oh, okay.
that, yeah, so FYI, that's why the three is in there, because it's, I don't know, Model 3 from all this. But anyhow, so they're trying to show their boss, hey, this is the new toy. We need to look to the future. And obviously the first test kind of fails. They don't even have like the face on. So she feels like she sees Katie. They're not things aren't going well. Because it's hard for her. They have that thing in between them. Like they're not talking. Everything is awkward. Even though the aunt tries. How, again, how these movies go, and then you just got to find that one thing. So Katie kind of yells at her, is like, I miss my parents. I just wish someone was there, blah, blah, blah. So, against her boss's wishes, she finishes, like she does, she finishes Megan again. And she basically, it's like they call it, like, she what's the word I'm looking for? But basically, like little Katie touches her, and they're linked. They're linked together. So Megan's linked
Mhm.
to Katie, and like she's there to take care of her, and talk to her. And Katie takes to her instantly. Not even just a big sister, but she's just emotionally attached to this robot, like everything in her life. Now the boss sees us like, oh, this is the big toy, blah blah blah. Because the whole idea is like, why buy toys? You can just buy one toy, and it will be there for your child for the rest of their life. And it's not just a toy; it helps you with parental. So they show some funny scenes, like Katie's leaving the bathroom, and the doll's just outside. Do you remember to flush? And she goes, so there is some hilarious moments at first. But Shoto, like we know with all
Uh-huh.
AI type of movies, things
Yep.
somehow turn for the worse. So obviously the big thing that the aunt tells Megan is like, hey, you're just there to help Katie, emotionally and physically, just protect her from everything, just be there for her. And that
Mhm.
kind of comes to heart with everything she's been doing because like they go out to this special school where these kids have lost their parents or just tough homes, and this one boy just kind of picks on her, and Megan just kind of just grabs him, scares the shit out of him, and he runs in the middle of the road basically and gets plowed by a fucking truck. And everyone's
Oh my
knowing
god.
they think it was just an accident, and now the aunt's starting to suspect, like, is the robot doing, like, she doesn't realize how the robot's turning. Plus, obviously, what do robots like to do? They like to learn. They're on the internet. They're kind of evolving. It's everything Skynet told us, Soto.
I knew
So
it.
yeah, so basically now she's becoming a mind of her own, and the big thing is she feels she's a better protective parent than the aunt Gemma. Um, Gemma.
Oh.
So now you see where this is going. But so I will tell you, first of all, this movie was friggin' awesome. Like everyone, if you
Wow.
fear AI, you're gonna fear this movie. But it paced well. It made you interested in this, because you do know what's coming, especially when you're getting into this. Obviously, anyone that's seen the trailers, you're like, oh, shit's gonna hit the fan. But it is well done, and it's sadly and scares you because you're like, this shit can kind of happen. This is literally how Skynet's going to happen. Like, we're going to believe like
Mhm.
AI is helping us, and sooner or later, one of them is going to smarten up. So, yeah, how did you destroy
Uncle
something
Will.
that knows everything you're thinking? Plus, like I said, Katie basically has this emotional bond. She doesn't want to go anywhere without Megan, almost treating her like her mother. Like she tells her everything, tells her secrets, and that now obviously breaking into what Gemma should been trying to do with her niece. Just like, I'm trying to become a mother figure. But yeah, this thing does her this Megan doll, whatever you want to call it, does horrific things. Like, if you like dogs, people, don't watch a certain scene. That's all I'm gonna say. You know it's coming.
Oh no.
Well, they have a neighbor, and like the aunt's just like, keep your dog off my lawn, blah blah blah, and the neighbor's just being a pest. She's got like this spray that she sprays over her lawn. It's coming in her lawn, like. But yeah, the dog, because it accidentally bites Katie because she's trying to reach for a toy. Megan does not take too lightly for that, and the dog disappears. They kind of, so we'll just leave it at that. So yes, if something happens, and I'm just forewarning, but no, so this is actually a very good movie. It's not an all out horror movie, but there's some things that make you think. Like, so if you saw this, I'm not going to say you're going to be scared or pissing your pants or anything like that, but there is definitely some tense moments, even though some of it is predictable and some of it's quite funny. Just seeing the doll just kind of dance and stuff like that, and just some of the responses is just hilarious. But then you're like, shit, man, this robot could do that. But no, I actually will see the sequel whenever it does come out on streaming for free. I'm not gonna pay for it, but I'm interested where this is
Mhm.
going, and I don't know much, but I've also saw that there's a spin-off called Soulmate where the A is an 8, so I feel like there's a second character in Megan 2 that I don't know about. So now there's this whole universe going on, but no, this was, like I said, well done. Again, cheesy and predictable at parts. It is a typical, I don't want to say horror movie, but you can just see where everything's going. But it's done well enough where I still enjoyed the ride. It wasn't like, oh, I've seen this in so many movies. Oh yeah, nope, this is gonna happen. Some things did surprise me, like I said, just some of the death. And there's a God, I wish I can remember. The boss is played by like a comedian, Roddy Chang. I've seen some of his stand up. Fucking hilarious guy. When I saw him, I'm like, I can't take him being like the asshole boss. Seeing some of his stand up comedy, that's the only thing that threw me off. Funny as hell though. Again, but yeah. So I will say this: whether or not you see it this year, if did you have you seen Megan? Have we talked about this? Have you ever actually saw this movie?
No, I mean I'm aware of it, but you said it was directed by James
No, no,
Wan or
no. He
written
did
by
the
James?
story. He did the story. Yeah,
Okay,
it's a story by and produced
story by.
by. So
It's
he
like
has the
George
same.
Lucas.
Basically created it. Well, no, because I think
Get
someone
the idea.
I'm kind of looking at the whatever the credits right now. So yeah, he didn't direct it.
Hmm.
He didn't do the screenplay, but he did create the story. Like I don't know how much of the Conjuring universe he screenplayed and how much he did like maybe his story too. So yeah, he created Megan. He created the story, and someone else did it for a screenplay. But he also produced it, so I know his hands were on it a lot. But yeah, so
Yeah,
James,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, he didn't direct it though. I don't even know the guy Gerard Johnstone. I'm kind of looking up. Yeah, no, the only thing he's done is a sitcom called The Jackie Brown Diaries, but he did horror films Housebound, Megan, and Megan 2.0. So, but yeah, James Wan has his hand in it. So yeah, if you're a James Wan fan, it's just he seems to find a way. He does all these different horror styles, and I think that just it's brilliant. Like you look at Saw, which I know you're not a fan of. You got the Conjuring universe.
Mm,
It's just not. It's not. He
I
doesn't
like
have a
Conjuring.
single mo. He has a way of just doing different things that are successful. So he has a great brain for it. Oh,
Hmm.
all right.
He's
So
he's pretty much running the horror business right now. He's like the biggest name in horror currently in this like period. So
I would say definitely say so with what he's done. Sorry, I'm kind of looking where I put this on my
Mhm.
list. So I will definitely tell you this is
Well, you
top
liked
20.
him.
This is top 20. 100% top 20.
Hmm.
Because I'm looking at like what's at 20 and 19, and I'm kind of crawling up, and I think that's a good spot. Again, we say this countless times. This could change. Um, I just feel like what's above it, I did enjoy better. There was a lot more originality, but I'm going to put this at 15. It's going under Coherence, going above Colossal. Um, I
Wow.
think that's kind of where it's at right now. I feel kind of confident about that because again, like I said, it's James. There's something brilliant about this, and there's something, you know. I don't want to say scary, more of a thriller. Like you're a little, we've watched so many movies, Soto, that it's hard because, like, I know me and you, we've seen so many things. We know what's coming. We know a lot of things. Like, all right, this is probably going to go in this direction. Blah 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 blah. People who don't watch as many films maybe not get that like we do. But like I said, even though some things were predictable, some things you can kind of figure out, the tension, it kept me going. I never found myself bored watching this movie. Like I said, I am 100% going to see the sequel. I don't know much about the spin-off, which I'll probably learn in the sequel. So I might see that, but I'm definitely going to see Megan 2.0 whenever it comes to Peacock, Netflix, or whatever. But yeah, I like the Soto. I definitely highly, suggest it. It's hard for me to call it horror. I would call it more suspense, definitely sci-fi. But if you're scared of AI taking over, stay away from this film because to me, this is a legit way that AI would start taking over. If this, that's it. That's
Yeah.
all I can say at the moment. So, but, but Megan, yeah, it was. I was pleasantly surprised. So,
I mean, yeah, I've heard mixed things about the second one, so I will be interested to see what you think about that.
well, most likely I won't be able to see it this year. I mean, who knows? Who knows?
You
If
never
it comes
know.
out in time, I haven't actually
Never
looked. But like I
know.
said, just the way the first one ended and the way I enjoyed it. And I will say this without saying too much, and I'm not going to spoil for anyone. If they never made a Megan 2.0, I'm fine with it. Like there is a definitive, there's a lot of definitive ending. It does not need to continue. It's not like some horror movies, which we question, like, because I know we joked about Terrifier 2, the way that ended. You're like, oh, okay, well, there's gonna be a next one. If there was, and that was a good thing. They ended it just like, hey, if we don't do a sequel, that's fine. This is the story. This is the ending. And I was fine with it. So the fact that there is Megan 2.0, I am happy about. I haven't heard much. Yeah, a lot of things aren't as good as the original, but I will give it a shot, and I'll just leave it at that at the moment. So,